Just waiting for things to catch up.
Live streaming is on.
There we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a hiccup in the system.
It was my fault. I made fun of the aliens and they shut us down.
Yes, that must be the answer. Dang, aliens are always doing that to me.
I know, right? One of these days I'll learn to shut up.
I mean, you stand them up for one day.
I know, right?
Yeah. But it happens. Okay, now it's like that's the other problem. It's like you get to stop and it's like, wait, train of thought.
Oh man, yeah. I just assume that my train of thought is always derailed.
I think mine is generally derailed and fire, brimstone, all the humanity probably exploding. Well, there's at least the first thing, because I know we have at least one live person watching. Does anybody have any questions for John? Don't be afraid. We don't bite often.
I don't even know where you are.
Neither do I, for that matter. I know we have listeners. We usually have a couple of regulars. I'm surprised I haven't seen any of them. Definitely seems like it would have been up. Teresa Hall, who's a pagan who listens pretty regularly. I know she's pagan because her name is Gulf City Pagan.
Yeah, that's a giveaway.
Yeah, it's a subtle little hint you have to pay attention to sometimes. And we still have the quantum guy. Who I'm curious about. It's like all the tantalizing. Okay, I know about these things. Although again, there's a degree of skepticism because I've known a lot of people who've claimed to work for the government who've made some really odd claims over the years. And it's like back in the day, once upon a time and far away, we had a couple of guys who claimed to be part of the Philadelphia experiment on the show, and it's. I mean, the story. I'm sorry.
That was the building nukes thing, right?
No, that was the battleship that supposedly literally vanished from Philadelphia Harbor.
Right, that was the movie.
Yeah, but it's an older conspiracy theory type thing as well.
Okay.
That the movie was based on.
That's actually the name of my next book is Conspiracy Theory.
Okay.
It comes out next month. It's the latest in the Quincy Harker series. And it is the middle book of a 3-book arc. So it started with Inflection Point and it's ending and it's continuing with Conspiracy Theory. And I haven't figured out the title for the 3rd book yet. I have a few months. I have to write it first.
It's like I have to. I've got a notepad opened up, and it's like Cold Stone case files is something to check out. Conspiracy theory is something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, you'll definitely want to read Inflection Point first.
Is it part of either of the audiobook collections?
No.
Okay, so then I need to run that down, which isn't hard.
I think I'm not sure if Inflection Point is out on audio yet. It's
I just get a Kindle if nothing else.
Everything is delayed.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reality is I work overnight security, so I spend hours just sitting on my butt watching Netflix and YouTube. So I have the time to read.
But yes, Inflection Point is available on audio.
Okay, excellent. So I can potentially do that as well because we have the Audible subscription.
Ah, yeah.
And I want to keep up with the series because again, it's folks. Again, if you're just tuning in which case, where have you been the last hour, or not? John Hartness, author of the Quincy Harker Demon Hunter books. I'm definitely a big fan. I would recommend checking them out. You can find them on Amazon and on Audible. I will provide links in the description.
Yeah, they sound great.
Yeah.
And you can find out more information at my website, JohnHartness.com or FalstaffBooks.com.
I'll put links to that in the description as well for you. It's like, that's easy. Yeah, I'm always a big fan. It's like, no, if we're gonna have a writer on, the least I could do is provide links to their stuff.
Well, thank you.
Like I said, it's no big deal. You're kind enough to come on my show. It's the least I can do.
Well, I am like many writers. I will take every opportunity to talk about myself.
Fair enough. And you kind of, it's, for that matter, it's like, yeah, you want me to come, you're a bunch of atheists and skeptics who want to have me on your channel to laugh at me, I'll do it. And if not, there's no such thing as bad publicity in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the best thing for me. Having people show up to laugh at me. Well, I write comedy. I'm in.
Yeah. For that matter as well, it's like, okay, you want to, I've actually got, I'm pretty sure I have listeners now, and I know I've had listeners in the past that listened to me just to see what goofy thing I was going to say next. Like, it still ups my numbers. I don't care. Just like the one thought on the whole, well, I'm by no means a fan of book burning. There is the reality of most big book burners buy the book first.
Yeah. All these people who are protesting something and shooting their Yeti coolers or setting their stuff on fire. I'm like, y'all, they done got paid, so do what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you gave them your money. What is it? It's your book. You can legally do what you want with it.
Yeah.
More or less.
If you want to, look, we haven't had conventions in a year. So I have 2 bookcases full of paperbacks. If somebody wants to start a bonfire, I'll make you a deal on quantity. I will be able to order more.
There you go. Although on the other hand, you might buy them and read them instead. It's a thought.
Yeah, because almost all of them have sequels coming.
And it's like, yes, there's demons in the books. It doesn't make them evil.
I mean, there's angels too, right? So
that too.
Yup.
So there you go. It's good. It's got from both. And vampires. Who doesn't like vampires?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Especially because it's got Dracula, which makes everything is better with Dracula.
Absolutely.
Just quickly adding some links for you.
Cool.
Yep, I have Falstaff Books. I have your own website, and I just put in a link to the collection of the first 3 Quincy Harker novels on Amazon as well.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Again, no problem. This is easy.
And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read all the Quincy Harker books as part of your Kindle Unlimited subscription.
Yep, that's in fact how I read them the first time. Because I was working in a hotel a long time ago, and I needed something to read. I remember seeing the title and going, Quincy Harker. Is this a coincidence or is this a Dracula thing? It's like, oh, this is right up my alley.
Oh, yeah. Totally a Dracula thing.
And as Brian is well aware, and many of our listeners are well aware, I'm a big Dracula fanboy. Always have been.
Yeah.
It's vampires are what got me interested in the paranormal to begin with, particularly Dracula. So if Dacre's great grand uncle hadn't written his book, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
You ain't wrong, because I certainly would still be having a different career.
That was actually the one which makes me think of one of the things I liked. It was less a question and more a compliment. I want to say the second book, the one where, no, wait, not second. The book where he encounters the Renfield. I'll put it like that because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, that's the 3rd novella, which is part of year 1.
Okay, that's why I'm thinking the first. particularly Quincy's speech to the new Renfield about who exactly Dracula is, and don't forget that.
That will come back to be very relevant at the end of Conspiracy Theory.
Ooh.
Yes.
Because it's always been the thing with for me, it's like, especially for books that take the Dracula was Vlad the Impaler route, it's like, Vlad was a warrior.
Yeah. Don't forget, this guy's a badass.
There's the speech that Dracula gives in the Year 8 Buffy comic where it's like, I killed more people than all of God's plagues before combined, and that's before I started eating people for fun.
Yeah.
And so many, and you got that, and so many authors just don't. I mean, I love Bram Stoker's novel, but really, he got beat by two normal humans with knives.
Right. That was one of the things, because I wanted to use him as a character. So how am I going to deal with the fact that, well, he died in the book? I was like, it's magic. They thought they killed him.
It's magic. You don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
They stabbed him in the heart with a knife. That's not a normal way to kill a vampire anyway, so.
Not really, no.
Hand waving him. It's magic.
There's also the reality of it's like, Dracula somehow survived the end of the book. There's only at least 1 million TV series, movies, video games. It's not like, oh my God, everybody's going to go, but that's not canon.
Yeah. That it's interesting. That's not something that I've gotten. I have not gotten anyone hammering me about something not being canon. I think they can probably tell from the books that I don't care.
I'm not. I am not the sort of person to complain about it not being canon, particularly because it's Dracula and vampires. For God's sakes, there's so many takes on it. How do you decide what's canon?
Right. I mean, I took a little from Stoker. I took a little from Charlene Harris. I took a little from Anne Rice. Took a little from Jim Butcher. Took a little from Laurel K. Hamilton. Put it in a blender. Added tequila, and there we go.
I like added tequila. Yep, that summarizes it well.
Yeah.
But it's like I can think of nitpicky things, but it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not the sort of person to go there.
Yeah. My fans in my fan group are the best about pointing out the stuff that I've screwed up in my own world building. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I was drunk when I wrote the first bit.
It's like I can think of 2 nitpicky things, and it's like I'm betting somebody's pointed them out to you already.
Oh, what are they?
One is you make a fairly big deal in the second book about dragons, about Quincy being absolutely certain there's no such thing as dragons.
Yep.
And then in one of the later books, a half dragon shows up.
Yeah, he was wrong.
But I thought, it just seemed weird to me that it went completely unremarked on. And that's a good answer.
Oh, yeah, he was just wrong. It went completely unremarked on because I forgot I wrote it.
Fair enough.
I 100% forgot I wrote it. And yes, someone called me out on that in my Facebook group. And I was like, well, canonically, Harker was just wrong.
Which is a perfectly fair answer. The man is not omnipotent in the series.
Occasionally have a main character that's wrong.
Yeah. And in reality, nope, forgot I wrote it.
Trying to remember, the other one was something with the angels, and I forget.
Oh, God, I screwed up.
I think specifically it was something with Glory. Well, I have to say, I love Glory, and I also love the fact that it's constantly remarking on the Joss Whedon connection.
Oh, yeah. So, interestingly enough, as you go along, and especially in this upcoming book 7, we realize that Glory is not as reliable a source of information as we thought. So her actions in book 6 and 7 call a lot of things that she's said throughout the series into question.
Interesting.
Yeah. And with an ongoing series, it's always a challenge to keep it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways to do that is to flip a character completely on their head. But in this case, I have to deal with 5 years of continuity. So I've got to make sure that if I'm going to flip something on its head, it's got to be done in a way that the readers will go along with me.
Yep, that makes sense. It's like, because otherwise people will complain.
Oh, yeah. And they'd be right, too. I built the world. I have to play by the rules.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's like, it's gone on long enough. I personally am inclined to cut you slack, and I think other people should just keep in mind this whole, that many books, that many years, it's not surprising mistakes get made.
Oh, yeah. And especially with a series like the Black Knight Chronicles has gone on even longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm on my 4th copy editor with that series. So that one, yeah, it's there may be some inconsistencies.
Mm-hmm. They're not in. It's like with a program. They're not bugs or features. They're not inconsistencies or features.
Right. I'm just checking to make sure you're paying attention.
Exactly. And again, especially, I haven't read the other ones, but especially with a book like the Quincy books, where it's in-universe narrator who isn't God, there are going to be things they don't know.
Right. That's actually something that when I'm working with other writers, because I write primarily in first person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important when I'm working with other writers to remind them that if they're writing in first person, that's all their character can know. They can't know what goes on in another room. So,
and I know exactly what you're saying, particularly because it's annoying when authors forget that.
yeah.
I mean, occasionally, there could be a reason why they might know, but you need to at least explain why they know. You can't. It's like, no, they don't. If they're in New Jersey, if they're in the 10th Circuit of Hell that is New Jersey, they're not going to know what's simultaneously happening in England.
Yeah. And if somebody's plotting something across town, barring technology or psychic abilities, they don't know what's being plotted.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Oh Lord! I just opened the page to inflection point and just the one review, the one title of one of the reviews, the Sasquatch, Dracula, and Nazis. Oh my! It's like I'm even more interested to read the inflection point at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing.
I have so many questions that I don't want to ask because I don't want to spoil it for myself.
Well, if you've read the omnibus, then you need to grab Salvation, which is book 4, and then Carl Perkins' Cadillac is book 5. Then Inflection Point is 6.
Okay, the Carl Perkins Cadillac is the one because I've done Salvation. Was it?
Yeah.
So I've gotten that one. It's the Carl Perkins Cadillac. You said?
Yeah, Carl Perkins' Cadillac is what immediately follows Salvation.
So that's where I need to go next.
Yeah.
Good. It gets confusing when you read things out of order. I've done it before.
I try real hard to label them all as number what, but it does get a little confusing with since I started with novellas and then collected them. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. I just signed up for Kindle Unlimited again, so I'm good there as well.
Awesome.
And I know from Brian that you guys still get credit for that, because otherwise I just buy the book.
Yeah, we get paid.
Yep. Yeah. That's important to me. It's like, nope, I support writers. I do not do the illegal things.
Yeah, it's important to me too.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's important to my mortgage, to the people who hold my mortgage too.
So yeah, they kind of like to get paid for some reason. I can't imagine why. I mean, it's not like I like to get paid for the job I do.
Right. Well, guys, I have to go start cooking dinner.
Okay, no problem. I need to order food myself.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you for having me. I'll come back anytime.
Yep, and you're like I've said to almost every guest we've ever had, you are extremely welcome back.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight. This is Kevin Mears saying good night and God bless.
Brian McKinley saying keep your fangs sharp.
Johnny, want to say anything?
John Hartness saying, hey, y'all, watch this.
Have a good night, everybody. So, end live stream.